One would argue that to love is not just a feeling, but a verb. It's something you act out. I'd like to argue that it's both. But for love to be genuine, the action has to flow from the emotion. John 14:15 says, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." Now, people tend to read this as some kind of ultimatum. But with all the context I have given so far, you should understand that this is cause and effect, a promise that Jesus makes, that if you love Jesus organically or by the compelling of the Holy Spirit, you will keep his commandments. In the same way, the people or things that we love changes the way we navigate through life. The love of money, family, women, fame, food, entertainment, our friends, the things we love, good or bad, dictate our course of action, our principles, and our deeds. Which brings us to an interesting point. Jesus isn't really teaching us how to love things we already do. Jesus teaches us how to love people and things that we don't naturally love, but ought to love, because at the very least, it's for our health and good, as it's how we are made to live. What I mean by this is that before even our emotions that lead to our actions, we need to understand and have wisdom and a perspective that allows for us to love the things that we should love. The wisdom of God the Son dictates that to love is to die for yourself. It's to serve, as it says in John 15:13 and Galatians 5:13, respectively, and many times over, either directly or indirectly in other verses. But this means when we learn from and we lean on Jesus, our taste buds for what love tastes like, feels like, sounds like, looks like, starts changing. Because to a lot of us, right, love feels like passion. It looks like sex. It sounds like flirting, right? But through maturing in faith or just in emotional health, we know it's love when we're giving something up, sacrificing something, humbling ourselves, putting others before us, which I think is easy to do the wrong way if you don't have faith. That's a different discussion. But my point is, love is also an understanding, a vision, a way of life, a perspective as well. And maybe even foremost, before the feelings, before the action, it's an understanding or a perspective. In Matthew 22:37-40, Jesus commands that we love God with all our heart, our soul, and all our mind, and to love our neighbors as ourselves. Now, there is no moral act or moral behavior mentioned in this. It's all matters of the heart. Our emotions, how we think, are the things that God transforms as we allow for God to change our perspectives and understanding by how he reveals himself over time. For example, when we experience his faithfulness, you'll know he'll never abandon you more and more. When you experience his love for you, you become more and more secure with yourself, which then you can be more and more honest with God, and God can work in you deeper and deeper. And the list goes on about how God can prove himself to you, but in every step, it takes faith. And this is the process of how our course of action, principles, and deeds start aligning more and more to the will of God. With all this, our love for our neighbors is directly correlated to our revelation of God. For example, the more we understand God's boundless patience for us, the more we can forfeit patience to others. The deeper we understand God's unconditional love and how he accepts us in the midst of our darkest parts, or how we can understand the vastness of his service to us, the more we can be accepting, forgiving, and serving towards others.
If you got to the end of this video, I appreciate it so much. The full video, though, is in the description down below. Please check it out. Like, comment, do what you gotta do. I appreciate it. See ya.